Hello everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel. Stay Forever True. My name is Brandy. Today we're going to talk about the root chakra or chakra, right? The base chakra. So I do have a video where I talk about all 7 chakras, the main chakras within our body, but today we're going to focus on the root, or the base. Now, I am getting this purely out of my mind and out of like my own work of what I've done and some things I've read and just research in that way. But honestly, you all, in order to learn about the chakras, you have to work with them and you have to meditate on that energy yourself. But this is just an overview from what I've seen. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the root chakra is, how to heal that root chakra, how to know if you have some issues with your root chakra, and also I might go into some crystals you can use. I don't freaking know if I'm going to do a whole separate video. I don't know. But let's get right into it. So, the shirt, child. Okay, so your root chakra or your base chakra is like right there, right, honey? It's right in between your privates and your anus. It's that area right there. That's the root chakra. It's as if your whole body was like on a pole. That's how you would be on that pole, like right there, going right through the middle, going all the way up through the spine, right there, right at the end of the tailbone, right? Okay, so anyhow, that's not really the end of the tailbone. The end of the tailbone is like right there, but okay, anyhow, I digress. So your root chakra, the way I like to look at chakras or energy in general is I try to mirror it to nature, because we are all, you know, a part of nature, right? So if you look at a tree, super basic, but the tree roots, that's what allows this tree to grow into a huge tree, is that first you have to plant the seed, and then, which actually comes from the crown chakra, you plant that seed, you put it in the earth, and you allow it to grow. Before anything happens, before you see anything, what's going to happen is those roots are going to form. The roots form before you see anything. And this is very similar to how their root chakra works, is that the root chakra is something that happens, it could possibly even happen before you even been conceived. And I say that because, and the energy that it holds can basically be there in your mother's eggs before you're even conceived, because when a woman is born, she is born with all of the eggs that she will have in her body for the rest of her life. So that seed or that egg or that intention, that can all be formed, that's within that woman until she's able to have that child, until she's ready to have that child, her body's ready. So the root chakra is very deep. It runs deep, right? It's something that is a part of us before we even came here. It's within the darkness, and just like I said, you plant that seed in the dark ground, in that dark dirt, and you don't see anything, but it's still, something is still happening. Every time your mother has had arguments, has cried, has laughed, has, you know, had fights with people, has had epiphanies about life, has had certain things happen to her, that mark is placed on that egg. Like I said, she was born with these eggs. She was born with all the eggs she was going to have for her entire life. So every situation that she's come across is within you, in the darkness of her body, right? I mean, literally, right? And figuratively. So that's why I say, like, the root chakra is very deep. It's a very subconscious energy, even though it is primal. And so I don't know if I'm really getting to the point of this, but basically just know that working on your root chakra, it does take time. It does take a lot of thought, and it also takes a lot of work. Just think about if you wanted to uproot a tree. I'm not talking about cut down a tree. I'm talking about if you actually wanted to go through and take out, literally uproot, take all the roots out of that tree and examine that tree from the roots. That's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort. So when you're working on your root chakra, just know that this is not something that you work on and you're like good, you know, you burn a red candle and, you know, put some oil on down there and you're good for the rest of your life. No, this is going to keep coming up. And this is the case with all of our chakras, right? This is the case with our life in general, our spiritual work in general, is that this is going to take time. It's going to take layers, onions. It's an onion. It's going to take time, and you're going to see subtle changes. You're going to have subtle epiphanies that associate with your root chakra and all your chakras. This is just gonna take time, and that's perfectly fine. Like, that's what we're here to do, to work on ourselves, to heal ourselves, and then in turn heal the world. So that's what we came here to do, y'all. So anyways, like I said, think about it like a plant, a tree, whatever. You don't see anything until that first leaf comes out. So I'm a grower. I have a garden out back, and the first thing you see is that first leaf come out. And the thing about the root chakra is that it's like, it's so basic and it's so fundamental to who we are that we don't always see it. We don't always see our underlying thoughts. We don't always see what got us to where we're at right now. We might think it's this one thing, that one event that happened that brought you to who you are, made you who you are, but there's fundamental basic things about yourself, about your physical, chemical, makeup, but also your subconscious makeup that brings you here. So when you're working on that root chakra, that's what you're working on. It's not something that is, it's concrete because it's the base and everything builds up upon it. So it is a concrete energy, but it has been manipulated, right? Our belief systems have been formed by our family, by the adults in our life, the kids in our life, the things we saw on TV, the things we heard, the trauma that we have had. That forms our base, right? So it's concrete in that is what it is. But you can still go through and take that one little memory or that traumatic event that happened back in your childhood, maybe even that happened to your mother before you even came, y'all. Like, it's deep. You can work on that energy. You can identify it and see it, and you can say, you can change it. They call this like alchemy, right? Yeah, I know the spiritual folks be coming up with all type of words now. No. But you can take that and you can transform it. You can see it for what it is and be like, you know what? This was part of my foundation. It is a part of my foundation. This ideal or this core belief that I have. But I can start to rework that belief system. I can flip it on its head. I can see it from a different angle. I don't have to see it as a child. I don't have to see it as my mother being scared because she was, whatever happened to her. I don't have to see it from that point of view. I can change it. I can make it into something else. Now, of course, a tree is a tree. You cannot change that tree. It is what it is. That tree is not going to become it's not going to become a pothos, right? But you can still go in and you can be like, you know what? This tree is starting to have a little bit of mildew on it. I can go in and I can treat this mildew and I can kind of help this mildew to get off of my tree. So my tree can still grow and be healthy and happy. So that's the same with you. You can do the same thing. You can still heal yourself, right? And so just going back a little bit, the color of the red chakra, see, I done went to something else and didn't even go over the basics, but y'all know this stuff. A lot of people know this stuff when they learn about chakras, but the color of it is red. Now, if you look at the color spectrum, red is the lowest, has the lowest frequency or lowest wavelength. I believe it has the lowest frequency. So infrared to ultraviolet. This is why your chakras go from infrared to ultraviolet at the top, right? The lowest frequency is red. Now, just because it's a lower chakra and we all want to get to that crown chakra, we want to get to that third eye, does not mean that it's not important. Like I said, this is your base. This is your foundation. These are your roots. That tree cannot become that tree without forming those roots, baby. It just can't. Yes, I'm sure when you plant a orange tree, You don't care about them roots. You just want to get to the oranges, right? You just want to get to the cherries, right? You just want to get to the pears and the almonds off the tree. You don't want to be sitting there waiting on them roots to form and having to take care of the roots. And I got to wait all this time for these roots to form. I got to wait all this time for it to suck up all this nutrients. Like, dang, this is crazy. But it takes time. And you're not going to be able to get the fruit of your labor from that tree. It's not going to bear fruit until it starts to lay down that foundation. So this is why it's so important for you to work on your root chakra, because this is your foundation. This is what you're building on. So you have to go back and work on it. Now, you can work on your root chakra for a whole year and still have some stuff you got to work on. Some people work with the root chakra. They try to figure out, okay, which chakra is in balance, and they start on that chakra first. But everything, I think, in my opinion, goes back to that root. Once you start working on your heart chakra and you're like, well, the reason why I feel this way is because, my parents did this, and they made me always feel like I wasn't loved, Go back to that root chakra. What was the relationship with my mom? What was her relationship with her mother? What was the relationship with my father and his father or his mother? Like, what was going on in my life before I was even here? What certain things did they say to me when I was a child that made me think this way? So even though you're working on a different chakra, your root chakra is going to basically reinforce, like each chakra is going to reinforce what that root chakra is already have in place. It is. Just think about it. A plant, a tree, the nutrients that plant takes in is from two places. From the sun, of course, the crown chakra. So you can think of it like, because the crown chakra is how we take in things. We take in things from our higher self, from our angels, from our guides, from source, whatever. We take that in, we put it into our body. And that's a part of bringing in energy. But also, if you look at your roots chakra and the roots of a tree, it's going to take in energy, going to take in nutrients from the soil. That tree is only as good as the soil, and the roots pick up energy from the soil, as well as the leaves that tree produces picks up energy from the sun. So you need it from both angles. And this is why, honestly, you can talk about the root chakra and the crown chakra at the same time, because you need both. Both of those areas are going to take in energy and take in what you need, right? But from the root, you're going to be pulling up energy from your upbringing, from your past. Even your past life, in my opinion, is going to come from that root chakra, okay? Because with that tree, if you want to fertilize that tree, you're not going to just spread on the leaves. You're going to put it on the roots. You're going to put it on the dirt so the roots can suck it up, can bring it in, can give that tree what it needs. So you have to get to the root of a problem, right? So that base chakra is so important. I cannot talk about how more important it is. My camera's going to die soon, but there's practical ways to work on it. Of course, you can do, past life regression. You can do inner child work. You can look at some of your fundamental ideologies. What are your ideas about money? What are your ideas about love? What are your ideas about spirituality? What are your ideas about health? Think about different parts of your life and write down what you believe about all these things. What do you believe to be true? Not what you think is true because somebody said, oh, it's really good to eat this way. No, what's your belief system when it comes to food? Okay, write that down. And then based off of that belief system, so say for example, or money. Money is always the biggest thing, especially with that root chakra, because your roots do need to pull from a source. They have to pull energy from a source. And you have to think about it. When you were first brought into this world, you were extremely dependent. So if you weren't able to get the things that you needed coming into this world, you are going to have a root chakra that has some cracks in it. It has some flaws, I should say, or it's not going to be as open or as healed as it needs to be because those needs were unmet. Those roots did not get the nutrients that it needed for you to grow. Yes, you grew anatomically, your brain probably grew, but there's parts of you that have not grown. And some people are still existing within their root chakra because they did not get what they needed as a child. And once they came into adulthood, they still have not got what they actually needed. They might get what they think they need. So you might look at them and be like, they got a nice house, they got a nice car, they got money in the bank, but they did not get that fundamental basic needs that they needed growing up. Okay, and that kind of goes into your other chakras too, like your sacral and your solar plexus. Those lower chakras are so important when it comes to your early upbringing. But anyways, they have not gotten those things. So when you were first born, you were extremely dependent upon people in your life for your basic needs. So my camera, why is the camera about to die? So if those needs were not met, as you get older, you start to have insecurities about those things, and it can kind of close off that energy, and it makes it so. Hey you all, so my camera did die, and it's been like a week since I started that last video talking about root chakras, but I did just want to come on real quick. I basically said a lot in this video, and I know it's not typical, like, you know, talking about different mudras or food and herbs and crystals that you should use with your root chakra, and I will definitely be doing more videos about specific practical things you can do to work on your chakras. But I just wanted to give you all like that basic kind of information, and to look at it from a more, not just like spiritual point of view, but just really think about what it means to be rooted and grounded and stable and safe. And that's really what our root chakra is here to do for us. It's here to stabilize us, to ground us, so that we can actually have the stamina to grow. We can have that endurance to grow. We can have the energy to grow, which is like the next chakra, that sacral chakra. So each chakra basically gives you like a precursor to the next chakra. Like, you need to get this done before you can move on to the next thing. So with the root, it's going to ground you. Just think about if you are a person who's constantly coming up with all these ideas and things you want to do. It's hard for you to actually execute anything unless you sit down, you ground yourself, you make a plan, and then you start to execute it. Then you have more confidence about yourself. Then you have more energy to do it. Then you can talk to people about it. Then you have like that true like interest. You start falling in love with the idea of seeing it happen. Then you start to talk about it. Then you start to like dream and really envision how far it can go, and you can get more insight on how to get there. And then you really like connect with source to like bring it all in home, right? But it starts at the root, and also the chakras work in tandem with each other at all given time. It's not just this is your root and leave it there, this is your crown and leave it there. No, everything is working very similar to how your body works. Your kidneys are not isolated from your gut. Your gut is not isolated from your brain. Your brain is not isolated from your blood. Yet and still, each component of our body has its own specific duty that it must carry out. But all these things are working in tandem. And so I think that's very important to think about when it comes to your chakras. So although I'm talking about the root chakra, I just want us to all see it as a system. It's all systematic. But yeah, that root chakra can be very tricky, like I said, because these are things that you might not even realize that you're thinking and that you have going on. So it's so important for you to sit in meditation, to journal, to go for walks, to question your ideals. Because in doing that, you can really get to the root. Keep questioning things. When you feel a certain way about a person, when somebody makes you feel a certain way, question, why do I feel this way? Is it because I'm upset about something else? Is it because when that person says that, it makes me think about this? Is it because it brings out insecurities with me? Is it because I don't feel like this person values me? When have I done something like this to somebody else? Is this something that I do? And how can I react differently going forward? Or what? You're just becoming more aware. Really all it is with this spirituality thing is just becoming aware. Awareness is definitely key in our spiritual journeys, and really understanding ourselves and overstanding ourselves is to really become aware of our cycles, which I am going through a cycle right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be real candid. I'm gonna look through the fourth wall. I'm gonna break it open. I'm going through a cycle right now, and I'm just like, yeah, that root chakra, man. I used to just kind of dismiss it like, oh yeah, root chakra means you just need to, get a job and be more secure, get a house and feel secure. But it's so much deeper than that. And some people will mask the things that's going on with their root chakra. They'll mask it with things like overspending and like oversaving and, you know, being extremely frugal with their money and stingy with their money, or things like that will mask it. And you would think that they're okay because they got it all together, but they don't, because they're trying to still work on external things to make themselves feel secure and whole, when in truth, you were secure and whole on your own. We came here with all the faculties that we needed to in order to be successful, and we came here not alone. There's other people in this world that's here to help us too, but all in still, it's still you. It's still you, boo. So that's really all I have to say about the root chakra. Like I said, I'll do separate videos talking about herbs, crystals, mudras. You can do affirmations, yoga poses, things like that. But I just wanted to get the ideology and wanted you all to look at it from a deeper, different point of view. So I hope you like this video. I actually will be doing a lower chakra live crystal sale over on my IG page. So make sure you look in the description box for that. I'm going to be doing it. Let me tell ya, if you all don't know, I sell crystals. I'm going to do it Sunday the 12th. Sunday the 12th. And I do not have a time yet. I'm thinking like 5 o'clock. Does that work for y'all? 3 o'clock? I'm thinking 3, 5. I don't know. And during this live sale, I'm going to be talking about the chakras as well as showing you and selling crystals that are perfect, like the best crystals for the lower 3 chakras. So your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus. So yeah, if you're interested, go ahead and hit me up on Instagram. It's going to be Sunday the 12th. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll put everything down below. And I'm going to just keep posting it. My Instagram is StayForeverTrue, the #1. I know my background look a little sketchy right now, child. It is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that it brought you all some type of insight. Also, the color associated with the root chakra is black too. I guess I could have said that in the video. But that's basic stuff. Y'all know that stuff. Look it up. But I love y'all.